welcome to the AART Podcast with me, Chris Stafford. Of course, we've got a new style now with the season 4, this is, of the AART Podcast, and we're going entirely video. As you can see, we're recording on video, but of course, whatever podcast app you use, you can listen to the show there too. So it is a different style in our introduction, and we have our guests with us right away, right from the top of the show, and I'm delighted that joining me from Barcelona, Spain, actually, is Nica Fazio. Nica, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's fun to have you because you're from a department in film and TV that we don't often get to hear from, and I love to hear the backstories of people that are working below the line, and
Below the line.
below the line, just as important as those above the line. But yeah, I know that you do live in New York as well. So you
Yeah.
divide your time between visiting family in Spain and and Sicily, of course, was where you were born, where you're raised. So you're multilingual, I'm sure.
Yeah. English is my fourth language.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if sometimes I don't know a word or something like that. I'll do my best.
Well, you could have tried in Italian. How about French? Do French?
No,
No?
French, no.
So English, Spanish, Italian,
In Catalan.
and Catalan, of course. Catalan, yes, yes. Which are you most proud of? Which do you feel the
I
most
don't
connection?
know. Recently, I feel that I think more in Catalan than I thought I did. I count in Catalan or in stressful moments, I'm going to the Catalan. The languages I speak the most right now is English or Spanish, because in New York, a lot of my friends, they speak in Spanish. And then Italian with my family and my grandma.
Yeah, yeah. Do you miss the Italian part of your ancestry?
A little bit. I'm actually reading now a book in Italian, because I really needed to have a little bit more of, Italian things. But then New York is amazing because you can find a little bit of everything. And I actually go in a lot of coffee shops and I try to go around Italian people because it's nice. You can find a lot of communities in New York.
Yes, that's very true because often, and I know I found because I'm European and I miss using the languages because I'm in a small town, so I don't get to
Yeah.
use the languages and I miss them, especially Italian because I lived in Italy and then Switzerland and I learned Swiss German. That's all gone. That's
Oh,
all. I
no.
know that's all gone. I mean,
Maybe we have to do it in Italian the next podcast.
but it's a shame because there's not much use for Swiss German where I live. So,
Yeah.
you have to make some sacrifices. But anyway, I'm delighted that you've been able to join us. And now you're on vacation right now. You're not actually working. So we've caught you in between jobs. But for those who are not familiar with your work, you're electric, you are grip, you have a
Mhm.
trained as a cinematographer. You can do a lot of different things. But if you wake up in the morning, what do you get most excited about?
Mm, I I don't know. Every day is kind of exciting for me. I do most of my job as an electric and grip. I will say that 90% of my jobs is that is where I think my career it is. Eventually, I think I would like to, escalate a little bit more and become a gaffer. I'm not interested to become a cinematographer. I think it's not my real vocation. Um, so I think the thing that I'm more excited is to go to set, do something challenging and fun. And then apart, I also love to do photography. That's my other safe zone. So between these two things,
Yeah, it's interesting that you love your photography and you're a very good photographer, but that you don't feel the need to translate that to film and be a cinematographer.
yeah, that's interesting for me too, because that was the idea at the beginning. I love doing photography. In my family, there's been other photographers. My dad also worked in that. So I thought, oh, maybe I can be a cinematographer. So it's the same, but in movies. And then I started a career as a cinematographer. And after 2 years, I felt that that wasn't, what I wanted to do. Like when I'm in film, I feel more comfortable and I'm more happy in a position in the lighting department. And ideally in the next years I can become, like the leader of the lighting department as, the gaffer. Because it's really different, I guess, because as a photographer, it's only me and I'm my only director. And it's something that at least how I see it, it's more like casual, like clack. the moment. I like it. It's more like the relationship between me and the model, or me and the subject. Um, and cinematography, it's completely different, no? You have to talk with a lot of people, the director, the art director, sound, blah, blah. So it's another way to work. And I felt that that was not what I wanted. I think I'm better just leaving the lighting department. I really like the idea of, building stuff and make things possible, talk with the director of photography and be the right hand.
Hmm.
So then I was like, okay, maybe that's my path. Maybe I can be a photographer, and then, in the film industry, I'm gonna be a light technician.
Because the fun of it, of what you're doing, is it's like a puzzle. You've got to put all the right pieces together, and every situation is different. So you enjoy that challenge more than
Mhm.
actually what the frame is telling you.
Totally. I think also I'm a person that enjoys like working with my hands. I like, electricity. I like to build and unbuild stuff. So
Yeah.
it's something that um makes me happy. Sometimes it's less creative, no, than maybe, as a director of photography, they are really creative, they have to do some reference, etc. I think I'm more like technical.
Mhm.
I know what the director of photography wants or what my gaffer tells me to do, and then I have to put the pieces together. And then during my work day, it's more like wild and adventurous, and dirty kinda, because like we get dirty, we get sweaty. I think I'm in the moment of my life that that's what I want to do right now. I don't know in 20 years if it's gonna be like, okay, I don't wanna, be on set like again, after 14 hours of like sweating. But like right now, I really enjoy that. And it's challenging. And I feel that my brain is like all the time, and it's something that I enjoy.
Yeah, I can see you have a very dynamic, creative mind, very energetic, all of that. And I'm wondering if you might have been a good stunt artist too. Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
about that too. I sometimes I think I wish I had even more time, to do even more stuff. Because like I'm really happy, with my career, because
Mhm.
I feel that we do a lot of things, but sometimes I'm like, oh man, I could, I would love to do, stand artist, or I would love to, be a carpenter too, like there are things that I'm interested, or mechanic. I would love to work with cars.
Oh,
So if
really?
I had, yeah,
Oh,
if I
oh, you're
had more
mechanical.
times, yeah, I would like to.
Lots of possibilities there. I'm wondering where, for you, all this interest actually began, Nica, because you mentioned your father, Giuseppe Fazio, and
Hmm.
he comes from also a very artistic background too.
Yeah.
Was he an early influence in your direction?
100%. My dad used to have a dark room in our home, no? So I grew up seeing my dad like touching chemicals and like the smell of the dark room, and like the red light and things like that. And it's something I really enjoyed. And he was also really handyman. And I think both of my parents, my mom is a nurse, but she's also a creative person, and she's really good painting and doing artistic things. Both of them, they raised me with a lot of creativity. They raised me like trying, always I was painting with my hands and like building stuff. Almost all my toys were like wood or fabric, almost no plastic. They raised me with the idea of me creating. And I was also an only child, so I think that was also
Yeah.
an extra plus of, I had to be extra creative. So I think that was like a big influence for me. And then my dad really liked the idea of like building and unbuilding electronical things in my home. I remember on building and building like a toaster, like it's
Mhm.
Sunday morning, that's gonna be the family activity. Let's
Yeah.
unbuild the toaster. And I think it was fascinating in how it works. And I think this is kind of similar of what I do in my job, as an electric or as a grip. And it's because I don't know, it's fun. Like I enjoy it. And I think he raised me, making me believe that I could do anything. So when this job appeared, and then I also realized that there was almost no woman around, and I felt that I was, you know, I could be good at it. I was like, I really want to do it. One, because I want to do it. Two, because I want to prove that I can do it.
Yeah.
And it was like the mix of these two things that they still push me. I love my job, but I think I love, even more to be there and, to prove that it's not only like a man job, it's a
Right.
woman job.
Yeah. Women can do anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we see that more and more in film and television, of course. That women can do absolutely anything, and you're a case in point here. Let's go back to your childhood then, and you, as we mentioned, you're born in Italy, in Sicily,
Hmm.
and the only child, and you also moved very quickly. Your parents moved you to Barcelona. So,
Hmm.
what age were you when you actually moved?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh, very, very early.
Super. Yeah.
Super. And what was the reason for them moving?
My dad's job. He used to work in the dark room. We're from Sicily. It's a town, like it's an island. They wanted to expand. They wanted to like grow more. I think also mentality wise, I love Sicily, but I think my parents are a little bit more modern
Mm,
and they wanted to have more opportunities of work. And I think also give me more opportunities. So they were not sure if Milano, the north of Italy, or Barcelona.
right.
Because for work, my dad was like, this was the two options. And then my mom, I think, or my dad were like, let's go to Barcelona, that at least there is like beach and sea
Yeah.
that is more similar from Sicily, So they were like,
Yeah.
okay, at least we're gonna have like the sea around. And they moved when they were 27 years old. So literally my age right now.
Right. But that took you away from your grandparents.
But I saw them a lot.
Yeah.
I used to travel there all summer and spend like 2 months with my grandpas there.
Yeah.
So my memories of childhood are literally in Italy,
Yeah.
with my friends. I still have a group of friends there. I used to go like 2 months a year. And then my grandpas came, maybe like two other times. So I was doing a lot of back and forth. That's why it's hard. I say usually that I'm like an Italian raised in Spain because I feel my family raised me in a really Italian way. And with all of them, with my grandma, with my grandpa, with everyone, I speak Italian. But then I grew up in Barcelona and with my school friends, I speak Catalan or Spanish. So it's like a mix.
Well, I was wondering about that, because you were still a baby when you landed in Barcelona, so you wouldn't have been aware that you actually not growing up, where you were born, but the that your parents actually spoke Italian to you, right? So, and you
Yeah.
went back to visit your family in Italy, but you would have learnt Spanish in school, obviously.
Hmm.
So which came first to you and as a
Mm.
multilingualist?
I asked recently this to my mom because I was watching a documentary about how babies learn languages. So
Yeah.
I was like wondering how was my case. And my mom told me that I learned the three of them at the same time, kinda.
Well,
And I was like mixing them. There was moments that they were like kind of laughing because I started at, they're really similar also. Like Catalan, Spanish and Italian is three languages that they're really similar. So I started maybe like a sentence within Italian, then I put like a word in Catalan, then two words in Spanish. And sometimes I still do this because with my parents, that it's like so many years that they live here in Spain, we mixed a lot. We tried to speak Italian, but when, I don't know, we put a word in Spanish, then another in Catalan. So all my friends laugh about how we speak at home.
it became a bit of a word salad, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel that actually, I don't know, at home, I always, cook more Italian style. And I think I feel more, culinarily talking, I feel more closer to the Italian culture for sure. Like, if you tell me how to cook typical Spanish recipes, I really don't know. Because my grandma, she taught me about the Italian stuff. About music, mix. But if I'm cooking, I listen Italian music. So I think maybe because I didn't live there. I'm really connected with Sicily and with my Italian heritage. But then the language that I speak better maybe will be Catalan because it's the only one that I don't have any accent.
Right. Okay.
When I speak
Yeah.
Italian, sometimes people realize that I'm like more Spanish because I think the Spanish and Catalan is like a strongest accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like funny.
Let's talk about your mom,
Hmm.
Angela. You mentioned that she was a nurse. She was a surgical nurse, wasn't she? In
Hmm.
Yeah. So that was it's a very obviously critical role and a role that was very specialized too. Did she adopt to working in Spain or did she change her career?
No, she went to Spain. I don't know exactly how it was, but I think the first 5 years of my life she stopped working. to be at home. Because it was like my dad was trying to work. I think they were kind of struggling a little bit when I was little, at least what they told me, that there were like months that they were like, so I think they decided my mom was staying with me, taking care of me, and then my dad was working. And then I think when I was 5, 6, something like that, my mom got a job as a nurse, I think surgical nurse again,
Hmm.
her specialty in Hospital Clinic in Barcelona. That is a good hospital. And then she worked in the hospital for a lot of years. And then I don't know exactly when. I think she was a little tired of the, hours in the hospital. I think it's really crazy to work as a nurse sometimes. So then she moved as a commercial agent for a medical company of surgical products. So it's kind of
Okay.
similar, like all
Yeah.
her experience, she moved it to another job that is more based around sales and clients and meetings. She goes a lot in the hospitals and she still knows a lot. She's the first person that I call when, I'm sick in New York. And I'm like, no.
Absolutely. You mentioned that she was also a little bit artistic. Talk about your
Yeah,
relationship with your mum, the kind of things you enjoyed doing with her, what you learned from her.
I learn a lot about, I think, how to decorate properly, how to, like home and how to put the lights in the correct position. That is like funny, no? Like I love lighting, but I realized that my parents know a lot about lighting too, because all my houses were strategically illuminated really well, and it's, like admirable, honestly. Um,
That's very
she
interesting
like,
that you picked that up when you were very young, the lighting.
yeah, I think so. I remember going to other places, like other houses or other restaurants, and realizing what I didn't like some lighting.
Yeah.
And then I realized that my home it was really good light. And then that was like, oh, like my parents know what they're doing. That's cool. But no, they're really both great. I think on the lighting wise, on the cooking wise, she cooks amazing. She's really sweet. She knows how to knit. She showed me how
Oh,
to knit.
uh-huh.
So a lot of my puppets when I was little, she made them,
Yep.
by hand. I think they're really both really creative in that. Most of my gifts were things that they maybe made with their hands. And it's something that I think I do still now with the people I love because I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Do you knit?
I'm learning now how to crochet and yeah, and I know how to knit, but super basic, not like my mom. She's
Okay.
too good.
So, in terms of those artistic skills, then you obviously were encouraged to have an independent, creative mind. What were you doing in school that satisfied your curiosity?
Mm, School was messy though. I remember I didn't enjoy that much school till I was maybe 16 and I changed school. But my first years of school, I think I was a little lost because I didn't know like what to do and what was my path. And I was a little rebel, like teenager, being honest. I was really rebellious. I didn't want to go to school. I remember skipping way too many classes. Um, and I was like, yeah, I was school is like a weird, part of my life, but I think that being so lost then made me put into the film. I remember a teacher that he saw me a little bit like stressed out and with a lot of things to communicate, and then he was like, "Why instead of like suffering so much, you don't record yourself and speak about it, or you translate this pain and like sadness and like questions into something artistic." So then he said that the first time, and then I started to record myself when I was sad, and I put together a piece, like abstract piece that is kind of cute, honestly. Like I like it even now. And it was my first short film. It was like a fictional story, but I took real moments of my life to create a fictional story of another girl, and that was my first time that I got closer to film. And 2 years after of that, I went into film school.
Yeah. What was it like making friends, though? Were you very social?
Um, my first school, there was only 3 girls in my class. So most of my friends were boys, and it was fun. It was like, you know, playing soccer every day and things like that. And then when I was 12 and it started all this like maybe a little bit more confused part of my life. Also because I think I was a teenager and it's normal and it's, what happens. And in that moment, my parents were kind of getting divorced. So in that moment was a little bit confusing for me too. I made my first girlfriends and it was fun too. Yeah, I had a really good friends in my life. Um, I think that's something it's a little easy for me to do. I'm excited to always meet people. Maybe that's why also I jumped into the adventure of moving to a new country because I knew that it's okay, like you can meet people around. Um, but yeah, that was like my experience with friends.
Yeah, and when you left sort of high school then and decided to go to college, you went into film. How did you choose where you were going to go? What was the decider?
The school, you
Mm-hmm.
said? The same professor that was trying to like help me out and like he talked with the school because they were like, Nica has to come to class. If not, like we have to expel her. And then he was like, okay, let's talk, let's put everyone together. Like she can be a good student. She doesn't like the school. There is a reason behind why, blah, blah. So he helped me out so much. And then eventually I changed school and the next 2 years, I went to another school, loved them. My grades were amazing. Everyone was freaking out. Me too. I was like, wait a second, like I can be an A, all my grades were like nines and tens. That is like an A. So I was like, wow, like who is this person? I was so bad in school and then I become so good. So I think, some schools don't work and some educations don't work with you, and then some other ones they work. But the same teacher that helped me a lot in the first school, Paula Bai, he knows that I admire him so much still, is the one that told me about the film school that I ended studying. It's the one that he was like, maybe you should do this, maybe you have a lot of things to take out. And then eventually I went to this film school and then eventually fell in love with the lighting department.
Yes. Tell me about the film school where you went.
I went to a film school named ESCAC.
Yes.
Is in Terrassa, in a town near Barcelona. It's a really good film school, I think. I feel that it's really practical. So most of our times we're like shooting out and like practicing. We shoot in film in 16 millimeters, in 35. They give you a lot of gear and it's pretty good for that. And nothing, it was 4 years. The first 2 years are more general, and the second, like the 2 years at the end, are more specific. I knew since the beginning that I didn't want to be a cinematographer. And the first year, of course, I was like, oh, maybe, yeah, because that was the plan. But then really fast, I realized that I was enjoying more the technical side. So I started being the gaffer or the best boy or the electric of all my friends in all their projects.
Mhm.
So that allowed me to have more projects because instead of only doing one as a cinematographer, I was doing maybe four as a gaffer. And my friends that now some of them are TPs and I still work with them and they started to like also push me a lot of like, hey, you're good in this, like maybe you should do this. Like why you don't do all my short films in school as a gaffer? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I kind of specialized myself into something that the school didn't had, like they didn't had a specialization in lighting, but it's the thing that I liked it more to do. So it's the thing that I did the most.
It was a very natural pathway for you then, Nika, doing what you're doing. Did you ever look left or right? I mean, apart from the cinematography, the photography, but was there any other thought of, well, what else can I do? What other careers can I have? I know you're interested in cars and there's a lot of other possibilities now, but at that time, was it just one lane you were in?
I think in that time I thought it was the smartest thing to start. So in my mind was like, if I start from the bottom, I can only go up. Um, Sometimes I feel that I like to put myself achievable goals so then I can go up and up and up. I think it's something that I can do also sometimes to protect myself, but I dream a lot, but sometimes I don't dream extremely higher. I dream here, I achieve it, and then I go up, no?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I realize right now that sometimes I, make achievable goals because I want to achieve them. So that's what I did, I guess. I wanted to work as an electric, and then I did that, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna work in New York, and I did that. I just wanted to, yeah, start from the bottom. I still question a lot of stuff. I want to grow the max I can, no? And I feel that in the next 5, 10 years is this, but then I want to keep growing and I don't know how, and what it's gonna be. Maybe it's gonna be more photography or maybe I don't know. But I'm also really like calm that there is a lot of time. So whatever I'm doing now doesn't mean that I have to do it forever of my life.
Right.
That's why back then, when I was 19, I was like, oh, I think now I want to do this, and I want to really specialize myself in this technical side. Because if I do that, then I can go up wherever I want.
Yeah, but once you graduate from college, a lot of people in the industry will say that, well, that's not easy. You have to take like any kind of job just to get your foot in the door and find the work, and it will eventually lead you down the pathway that you were meant to be on. I'm wondering what those first jobs were like for you. Where did you go once you graduated? Did you walk out of the college and then, okay, now what?
Yeah, I was a little confused. While I was in college, I was doing a lot of jobs because I really wanted to test it out other like jobs outside of the film industry just to do it. I really wanted to like waitress, like work in a restaurant, work, in a kitchen, work in a shop. So I did like a lot of these experiences just because I wanted to, that they give me some tools. I think that being a waitress is one of the best things that someone can do at the beginning because they teach you so much things about like how to treat people, what to remember, like frustrations and stuff. So my first jobs were super out of related of the film industry. And then I wonder what happened. Oh, I had a camera and I like to do videos and I started working, doing some videos for a restaurant in Barcelona. That is quite a famous restaurant even now. She's an amazing chef, and she met me because I went to school with her daughter, and she wanted, some videos for Instagram with the camera. So she gave me the opportunity to work with her almost for 1 or 2 years, and that was my first job that gave me a little bit of stability and also confidence that, I was getting hired as a filmmaker. In that moment, I was editing, I was doing everything, like all the videos. And I did a lot of these videos with other companies too, like people that work with muralists and artists. And I was doing maybe the video following all their process. So I worked as a filmmaker for maybe 1 year after college. And then I was like, okay, I don't want to do this. Like, I like to do this, but I don't want to become a filmmaker. I want to work in movies. I want to work in commercials and I want to work, in like film industry. So I started to knock the door to be able to work as an electric in these projects. And then I found the place I wanted to work. It's a company that represents electricians, kind of. Represents honestly gaffers, but they send the electrics as a company. And then after insisting a lot and insisting a lot with them to give me an opportunity, they gave me the opportunity and I started working for them for some months till I moved to New York.
So, how did the move to New York come about?
That was my dream since I was little. Even before knowing what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to move in New York.
Were you
I'm
speaking
not sure.
English at that point or
No,
no, no English?
but a little bit, like I was watching shows and we studied a little of English in at school, but my English was bad. Like my friends that met me my first year in New York, they make fun of me how bad was my English back then.
Oh,
So it was not about the language. I was like, whatever, we'll do it. But I liked the idea of starting over. I think because my parents did the same, so I really like the idea of my parents live all their life in Sicily, and then from one day to another one, they start over into another place and they learn Spanish watching the news. So I grew up with that reference, and I think I kind of wanted to do the same, and that's what I did. And I tried to figure it out the way. And I remember I spent years and years trying to see if it made sense to go to study there. But then it was super expensive and it was something that, we couldn't afford. And then I found the way, and it was going as an au pair.
Oh,
So
okay.
I moved to New York my first 2 years as an au pair. I used to babysit, and I was living in the house of the families. I had two families, and yeah, and that was my way to move, and then little by little stay here.
Yeah, learn English as well and
Hmm.
get to know your way around. So then how did you make the journey from being an au pair to get back into the industry you love?
It was so long. It was so hard too because it was 2 years that I couldn't work, And also my first year I was in New Jersey. I was really far from New York. I was trying to go to the weekends, but I didn't know people in the industry. It's hard to meet no people in the industry. Then the second year I had a family in Manhattan. That was a little bit easier. And the kid was older, so I had more time because he had some, like extra hours in school and stuff like that. That gave me a little bit more of time during the week to meet people. And also the visa process is insane. But then I was lucky. I met kind of a crew because of a friend in common, and I started working with them for free. And every time that kid was in school, I was going in their shop. And I was like just trying to like learn more English and like learn how is the gear in English too, because
Mm.
it's completely different. It's like every piece of gear has another name and it's not an English name, it's like another language kinda.
Yeah.
So that was like a challenge. I remember being on set with them that I went like kind of helping, and I was with the walkie-talkie, and they were speaking so fast in English. And I thought, okay, this is gonna be like really hard. Because even if I used to work a little bit as an electric in Barcelona, and I did maybe 4 or 5 months, working professionally there, I was still a little green. But then going back into, going to a new country with new languages, new dynamics, new way to like run power. It's like starting over. So I felt that I had to start over for real, lately.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it is, as you say, all of those things, but also at the same time, you have to build your confidence that
Yeah,
you could actually do it, knowing yourself, knowing that you were capable of this, and just being brave enough and confident enough to establish yourself. What do you think were the turning points that gave you the confidence and the energy that you have to keep going and knowing that you could make it, that you could do all the things like get the visa, get the jobs, start networking in the right places, and
yeah.
establish yourself?
I think I didn't had a plan B in that moment. And not having a plan B was really, like I have to log in because I don't have a plan B. I didn't know if I will get the visa. My visa is the artist one. It's a visa that is hard to get because you have to um, expose that you had experience back in your country in the things that you're getting presented. I was lucky because some of the student projects I did back then in my university went to festivals with a lot of, press. So these kind of jobs I did as a student were enough big to prove that I was getting the visa, but it was really hard and I didn't know. I went back to Spain. I remember like I stopped being an au pair. Thanks God, the family I was working with was supporting me a lot, on this journey. I let some stuff in that house. I let a lot of my personal stuff, after 2 years in my friend's house. And I went back to Spain for, to wait the visa. And I had 4 months waiting the visa. And suddenly I was like living with my parents again because I was like waiting and it was there. And that was one of the hardest moments of my life because I was like, I don't have a plan B. What should I do? What should I do? And I was like, okay, just trust that it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then they got me my visa, and I was like, okay, like now I have to do it. I didn't even know if I could, get a salary enough to pay my apartment. I got an apartment. Everything happened. I don't know how, but it happened. And suddenly I was in New York paying for the first time an apartment in New York, not even knowing if I could work or not. And in that moment, I remember thinking, if I need to, I'm gonna work as a waitress again because I know how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be my way out to pay the apartment. And I think I was so secure that I will be okay. That if I didn't got jobs as an electric, I will work as a waitress or anything But then I never work as a waitress in New York because, some people put me in their crews. They knew, I was like moving in that moment and I was like getting, the first time I could work in US and I got a lot of opportunities. And now it's almost 3 years now that I'm working consistently with the same people.
That's awesome. You found your crew. Yeah.
Yeah, I found my crew.
Yeah, and that gives you confidence. Obviously, a network and but a social circle around you and friends. Obviously, these became friends as well as colleagues. That gave you the support that you needed to see you through those early stages of establishing yourself. But I want to go back really to when you were younger, when you were watching films and TV in Spain, who your influences might have been. Who were you paying attention to in terms of filmmakers?
Mm, I don't know. When I was little or when I was like more a teenager.
I think both, because both, have an influence.
Yeah, so oh yeah, I don't know. When I was little, I really don't know what to say now. But when I was a teenager, I used to watch a lot of movies. My dad is a really fanatic of movies too. So I remember watching movies and he was like, "Oh, this has a good photography. Like this has a good cinematography." And I didn't even know at the beginning. I was like, "Why? How you say that?" And he was like, "Look at the lighting. You can see there is quality here." And I was like, "Okay, okay." So I was watching a lot of movies with him. Now, the names that I have in my mind of movies that I loved when I was little was all the movies of Iñárritu, that he's the director of Birdman, before Birdman, and I don't know what other movies did recently. Before that, he did my favorite movies, that is Amores Perros and Babel, and it's movies that I generally loved. Then Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was one of my favorite movies, and I remember thinking, "Wow, this like I would love to be working on a project like that." And then, yeah, another movie I really like is Mustang. Um, I don't know, like I don't have a clear movie. I just remember watching some movies and say, "Okay, I want to do this. I want to be on set with these people. I want to do this."
Did you have an idea then, by the time you had gone through film school, of what genre you wanted to work in?
No, I
No?
honestly, my opinion changed a lot. I think at the beginning, I really wanted to do movies when I was little. And now I actually work more in commercial and in music videos
Mhm.
because I like more the lifestyle around that. Um, I work sometimes in movies, but it's true that I think I'm a little bit more happy with the lifestyle on music videos, big music videos, or commercials, like fun commercials, because it allows me to have a little bit more of free time. The jobs are really demanding, but and really interesting and challenging. But then I can have like some days off and then do another one.
Yeah.
So
I,
this is something that changed in my mind. No, I thought I would do this job because of the movies, and then I like this job because of the job. Like I like working as an electric. And in that moment, it's so technical that I think I'm a little bit more happy when it's something of 2, 3 days, super, different. And then I go into another project that is completely something different. Because when you do a movie, more or less is almost every day is more or less the same. And I think I really like the idea of like completely different like crews and locations and story and vibes. So yeah.
I wonder where you get your vibes now in terms of watching movies. What do you enjoy most? What genre?
Um, mm, I think I enjoy a lot like thrillers, um, comedy dramas.
Mhm.
Another one of my favorite movies is Frances Ha. All the movies of Greta Gerwig, I really like them. I like what she does, like drama, but a little bit of comedy. Frances Ha, I don't know if you've seen it. Um, but it's
No,
one
I
of my favorite movies. No, oh, you have to. It's
no.
about friendship and moving to New York and like getting like older. It's amazing. Frances Ha is an amazing movie.
Okay.
And if someone promised me, "Hey, Nika, you're gonna work only for amazing movies like Frances Ha," I swear I will work in movies. But because you never know which movies you're working, I think I'm more into like the commercial vibe right now, or
Okay.
like the music video.
So now, of course, fast forward to where you are today, your partner David also works on the same crew with you. So when you get a job now, is it the two of you? Two, is that the deal that you both get on the same job?
No, it's not a deal. It's not in my contract. I wish I could say, hey, if I work, my boyfriend works too, and backwards, but no. But we work a lot together. I think it's nice to work together, but also it's nice sometimes to not work together because then we go back home and we tell our day
Mm,
and we kind of relate a lot. I can understand a lot what happened because, I do the same. But yeah, we're really lucky because we mostly work for the same gaffer and for the same key grip. He does a little bit more grip and I do more electric. So sometimes we're in different crews,
mhm,
but on the same set.
yeah.
And it's nice. We're like, hey, or we work sometimes in projects together, but sometimes we don't work together. It's okay too.
And in terms of regularity of work now, because I know that you've come into the industry at a time when it hasn't been particularly easy.
Mhm.
So how regular has your work been, and how is it now, Nika?
I think I was really lucky because when I moved and I started working is when there was a lot of strikes happening. That's why I started to work more in the non-union um, because that's the first people I met were gaffers that were doing commercials and music videos in the non-union, but they were doing big scale jobs and moving um, commercials with a lot of gear, a lot of trucks. So for me, it was really like good to start with them because I was in big jobs, but I was not in the union in that moment. And I had really a lot of constancy of jobs that made me, be there, be working. And it's good. Then recently, in New York, at least, it started to pick up in the union jobs, and a lot of union people was looking for other people because there was not enough people to work on set. That I think this is amazing. So the union finally started to work more. There was more shows happening, and I got the opportunity to work in several shows and movies as an additional because I'm not part of the union, and that gave me another big sense of how it works, and what are the difference, and how we, like the dynamics and the way to work and the rules. So in this moment, I have part of my job as an additional in shows and in movies, and then part of my job that I work in non-union projects that usually are, commercials or music videos or shorter projects.
Well, of course, it's a very physical job. I'm sure fitness is important to you too. Do you spend time in the gym when you're not on set?
Yeah, almost every time I can. Sadly, if I work a lot, and I'm really grateful because, like I love working, but if I work a lot, then I don't have time to go to the gym, but at least I'm, on set, but it's not the same. I love the idea of working out, so my job then it's easier. I feel it a lot, the difference in the moments that I'm more fit because I got more in the gym consistently, then the job feels easier, like the days, working for 12 hours, being outside, up and down the stairs, um, you know, lifting stuff. So yeah, it's something that it's one of my priorities. Even now that we're in vacations and I'm with my partner too, we try to go to the gym, almost, every day or like 4 times a week. So it's part of our life because it's important.
It is. The other thing I'm thinking, with the rigging as well, you must not have a fear of heights. You're pretty comfortable climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone though. I know people in our crew that hate heights, but we know and it's something that we don't talk. So if I, see one of my friends about to go in a scissor lift and he's looking at me, I'm like, you want me to do it? And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we exchange. I don't mind at all heights. I like it. Sometimes it's scary though, like when you're really, really like in a scissor lift or in a condor that moves like this. I'm like trusting completely, like it's okay. This is like new technology, has to work, I cannot fall, but it's sometimes a little scary.
Are you brave?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a little bit less brave than what I was before. I used to be more wild and less scared. I
Mm.
think now age, makes you feel more conscious about this stuff. So I have some boundaries or realize like, hey, this is dangerous, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm still brave in to do all the things. I think this is because my parents push me to do that, and to
Yes.
be brave.
Yeah. Just to try. Yeah.
Hmm.
Give it a go, give it a shot. What do you do for fun then? If when you're not on set, when you're not in the gym,
I like to read. Um,
what do you like to
I
read?
like to, like I don't know, cheesy books. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like
So
ashamed about.
fiction.
Yeah,
Just fiction.
fiction, because I cannot read that much. So when I read something that it's more like intellectual or intense, if it's a little bit long, then I lose completely the point. But when it's something fiction and like, catchy, and I'm there into that romantic, situation, then I'm more consistent with the book. So I realized that like I used to try to read more intellectual books, but then I was like never finishing them because I was into sad or something. And it's like you have to put more effort into the lecture. And now I'm reading a book and it's super cheesy, but I love it and I'm gonna finish it. So that's what I'm gonna try to do on this year. Cheesy books,
Cheesy
but I'm gonna
books.
finish them.
But do you get bored easily then? You need something that's keeping your attention.
No,
No?
honestly, no. I work like a lot,
Mm.
so on my days off, I like to go to the gym. I like to go out, maybe see a friend, have a coffee. Go to Home Depot and see what they have. Go to a supermarket and do the groceries. Like
Yeah.
I'm really an easy person. Um, I like a lot music too. That could be my hobby. I
I
have a
was going to talk
piano.
about music because you've got quite an
Yeah.
interesting playlist there. Do you play an instrument yourself?
Yeah, I play piano and I sing.
Oh, you do.
Hmm.
And what do you like? Do you like to sing and play what you like listening to?
I like a lot jazz and blues, and that's what I think I like to play and sing if I'm home. I write my songs
Oh, do
since
you?
I'm like, yeah, since I'm like 12 or something like that. I have songs and songs and songs. Um, and I don't know,
So
there,
this could have been Plan B.
I guess so. There was a moment it was plan A when I was think 14. I used to study in the conservatory of Barcelona, outside of my school. So I did music in a professional, way till I was 17, and I decided to not be a musician. I didn't want to be a musician. But yeah, I like it a lot. I just feel it's my safe zone, and I think it's important to have a safe zone and do maybe something that I don't need right now to put in the world. It's something I do at home, and my friends know, and I like to do songs. And if I go to like a bar and they have an open mic, like maybe I'll join. Yeah, I think this is more like the hobby that I have.
And when you're at home, do you sing and also play with your own right?
Hmm.
So there is this could be a side gig.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, when I thought eventually, like time ago, to move to New York, I was like, oh, I want to like play in bars, and like work as a waitress during the day and like be a musician at night. That was like my thoughts when I was like, like 13 years old. Maybe yes. Sometimes when I see an older woman playing in a jazz bar,
Mhm.
I know that I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I think it's not now, but if a life happens and I have the opportunity, maybe it's my thing I'm gonna do when I'm a little bit older.
Yeah. Another string to your bow. I love that. You never know.
Yeah, you never
Another
know.
side to Nica Fazio. I love that. Yeah. And in terms of listening to music, then do you is it important to you to listen to music?
Yes, but I think I listen less music than other people because I see my boyfriend, for example, and he hears more music than me. I'm a person that I like to be in silence at home. So I don't put music all the time. I like to put music when I'm cooking, and I like to put music if I do sports, like if I work out.
Mhm.
But if all the other moments, I think I like to, like if I'm home and I'm working, I think I'm in silence or I listen Nora Jones because I don't know why. I can work with her. Like, I can
Yes.
study with Nora Jones. Like I put her albums and it's something that match my vibe. But yeah.
I want to come back to the cooking because you have that interest in cooking. Obviously, cooking Italian dishes is your specialty. So I'm going to call you when I'm next in New York, Nica, and come have an
Nice.
Italian meal with you. Uh,
Let's do it.
let's do it. But you know what I'm going to ask you now is about the dinner party where
Oh,
you
okay.
get to invite six people. They could be living or dead,
Mm-hmm.
and why you've chosen them, and how you would seat them. Who would sit next to each other?
Oh,
And then,
really? Next to
and
each other?
yeah, and
Okay.
then we'll talk about what you're going to feed them.
Okay. Perfect. So that was hard to, well, not hard. I had some names that they were popping in my mind without that much sense. So I cannot trust my first,
Yeah.
gut feelings. So I'm gonna tell them. So first of all, I'll put my grandpa because you told me I could put live or dead people. So,
Yep.
if I have the opportunity to bring him back, I'll do it.
Now, is that your
Um,
mother or father's
my
side?
mother
Husband.
side, because
Okay.
yeah, I never met my grandpa in my dad's side, but I met my grandpa in my mom's side, and I loved him so much. But he died when I was, I think, 18 or 19. So I spent a lot of time with him, and he was really cool. He pushed me a lot into my goals and my career, and I don't know. I like him, and I wish he could be just there to see me. Honestly, he will speak in Italian, and everyone else speaks in English. So I will be, translating for him. I just want him to be there. There is no reason behind that. And then the other people I thought is Ellen Kuras. That then today I realized that you already did an interview with her, and I told my boyfriend like that's so crazy, but I already put her name up there because I actually was in an interview with her. I saw like an interview in person in Kamera Image in Poland. She went there
Oh yes.
and she was like answering some questions, and I was in the same theater, and it was so fun. And I was like, oh, if I could hang out a little bit with her, I will do it. Like she looked fun to chat. Like one of my favorite movies is Eternal Ascension of the Spotless Mind. I super admire her career. I would love to hang out with her. Um, then Amy Winehouse,
Mhm.
it popped in my mind. That was my favorite artist when I was all my teenager. I used to listen Amy Winehouse all the time. I love her songs. I like to play them in piano. I love her story. I love her documentary. I would like to, be with her. I think I don't know, no questions, no anything, just chill, in this dinner party. Then Ava DuVernay, because I also admire a lot her career, and she's also someone that is doing a lot for the film community. She is also she knows about our community. We have a community of girls, electrics, and grip department named Girls Just Wanna Load Tracks,
Yes.
and she has another organization that they do also workshops, and we kind of follow each other, and that's how I met all her career and who she is, and I extra admire her. Then I think I put oh, Iñárritu, that is the director I told you of
Yes.
Amores Perros, Babel, 21 Gramos. He did Birdman, and he did the Renaissance, ¿cómo se dice? El Renacido, I don't know, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, I love this guy, love him as a director. I have so many questions about his movies. I super admire what he did, and he has an amazing personal history. And I think for and I don't remember who I put. Oh, I think I put the actress of Friends, like the one that does Phoebe,
Oh yes. Hmm.
um, Lisa, because I think she's nice and fun, and I think she could, get some, humor into the dinner party,
Hmm.
and it's someone that I would like to meet too.
Okay.
But I don't know how I'm gonna see them. I think I will be more like, guys, let's sit down. This is the lasagna that I made, and
Perfect. So a round table then, because it doesn't matter who's sitting next
a
to you.
round
So a
table
round
for
would be
sure.
perfect. Yep.
I'm a round table person. I will
Okay.
put my grandpa next to me. That's for sure.
Yep.
And then maybe Amy next to the other side,
Okay.
um, and then everyone else, in the other sides.
Okay.
And it will be fun. And I don't think I will not have extremely a lot of questions or anything. It will be more like, let's have some, time together. and yeah, and pick our brains. But
Yeah. And then playing in the background would be Nora Jones.
I think so
Yeah.
because Nora Jones matches with everything. But I like a lot of other music, honestly. Like I just think that Nora Jones was part of my life because I hear the album "Come Away with Me"
Hmm.
so many times in my life. It's the album that I used to put when I used to have to study for my tests.
Yeah.
So now this album makes me like just feel super relaxed. I don't know why. So maybe "Come Away with Me" could be a really good start of music. And then maybe some classics, Italian music that I like, the music that my grandma listens and I love too.
Okay, give me a couple of names of those tracks that your grandmother might
I
listen to.
love, no, my grandma listens, I would say, um, uh, wait, I'm like panicking. Okay, Paolo Conte,
Oh, Palaconti.
Zucchero.
Yeah.
I like, what's
Claudio
the name?
Baglioni,
Claudio
Lucio
Baglione. What's the name
Battisti.
of this song? Quando sei qui con me. Il cielo in una stanza, the name of the song. This is one of my favorite songs. Il cielo in una stanza, and it's from, I cannot remember the name right now. Bueno, I'll text you. Oh, let's see if I
Yes,
can.
text me because it's stuck in my head now. That's that.
Is it's I don't know why I can't. Il cielo in una. This is my favorite song.
Oh, it is?
One
Okay.
of, yeah, I didn't put it also. I
Can
just
you
realized
sing
it
it?
now. Gino Paoli, Gino
Oh,
Paoli.
Gina Paolo. Okay, got it.
I love this song. So maybe this one, Nora Jones, and C'era una stanza with Gino Paoli, some songs of Mina,
Oh, fun.
and
Well,
then
if
yeah,
you're having a lasagna, then you've got to have a little bit of an Italian flavor to the music.
exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Well, finally, Nico, what are you most looking forward to this year, 2026?
Working more, yeah, growing more. We have this, community happening that we try to do workshops every month, named Girls Just Wanna Love Drugs. I have it with other two technicians in the industry, and we're trying to push, more girls on set and more free resources and education. So I'm looking forward to grow even more this platform and and let's see what happens. But empower, empower, empower the people that we have around
Yeah.
and grow together.
Get more women on set.
Yeah, and more like, yeah, not only women, people of color. Like sometimes I'm on sets that it's like, really? Like how it's possible? It's everyone is white. And then there is only one girl, and it's just like, really? This is not a good representation of the world. This is not a good representation of New York. Like if this happens in Switzerland, I don't know how is Switzerland. It's okay, I guess, but like in New York that is one of the cities that has more diversity, it's so weird for me to see sets that all the people looks the same, because it's not the place for this to happen. It
Right.
should be one of the places that the sets should be more diverse. So
Yeah.
I just wonder why it's possible that in the cities like this one, no, that has max diversity, the sets are not diverse. So I'm trying to fight not only for the girls, for everyone, for diversity. So that's what I hope. I think more people is trying now, and hopefully in the next years, this is the future.
Do you like the idea of mentoring and or teaching girls and
Yeah,
women coming into the industry?
I love it. I try the max every time again. If I'm on set and there is a girl as a trainee or like a PA,
Mhm.
I'm gonna spend a little bit more of extra time to teach that person because I want to. I love the idea of mentoring. If I can, I'm still getting mentored by other people and I'm still learning, but whatever I can teach to someone else, I want to do it. And especially, I think, especially if it's someone that doesn't have the same opportunities, because sadly, sometimes, as a woman, or it's a little bit more hard to get these opportunities of learning. So if I can help out, I'll do that.
I love that. Nica, finally, remind everybody how they can find you on social media. We will put links in the show notes, but tell everybody how they can find you.
Okay, so in Instagram, you can find me in my profile, Nica.Fazio. And then the other account that we do workshops, and it's more like a community-based account. It's girls just wanna load tracks, like the sound, like girls just wanna load tracks. And that's all. And I'll be there. Text me if you have any question about GNE or about anything. And that's
Wonderful.
all.
Wonderful. Well, the very, very best of luck with all your efforts and your
Thanks.
journey, Nica. It's been fun to get to know you a little bit, and I'm sure you've got all the energy in the world. So, we have to follow you on social media to keep up with you and see where your journey takes you. But of course, everybody, if you're following us on social media already, that's great. We're at the Art Podcast. That's Art with two A's. We're also on Call Time. So if you're listening on Call Time, follow us on Instagram. We're at the Call Time Podcast, and also on social media on say Facebook. The Art Podcast is on Facebook, but Instagram is where we're mostly at, and we would love to hear from you. And you can also drop us an email if you have any suggestions for guests. We would love to hear from you. That email address is theartpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget two A's in art. So whether you're watching us on YouTube, listening to us on your podcast app, either on Call Time or the Art Podcast, thank you to all of you for your support and helping us grow this audience that is promoting women right across all the cultural arts, from painting to sculpting to film and television, and the important people, not least of all, below the line, like Nica. So thanks again
Clapping for below the line.
well, we're clapping for the. And did you think a psychological difference for you below and above the line?
You think what? Do you
A
think there's a psychological?
psychological difference.
Nah, I
No,
think we're cool. We're really
they're really
cool, even
cool.
if we're, below the line. And people knows that,
I
like,
think so
I
too.
know.
And also the girls who just want to load trucks. I mean, that is perfect, I think, for promoting below the line. Wonderful. Great
Exactly.
idea.
Thank you
Great
so
idea.
much for having me and for all your questions and for making me relive a little bit, my life, kinda, because made me think about a lot of things that, every day I don't think. So thanks for that and for your time.
You're very welcome. It's great to get to know you a little bit again. Enjoy your vacation there in Barcelona. And when you get back to New York, it's going to be cold. I'm sorry.
I know. Thank you so much. Okay, have a good day.
Take care, Dicker. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye bye.